Okay, welcome to finding percentage of a quantity. So today we're going to have a look at a few things here. Now, I guess the first question is, what is a quantity? So we're going to look at some real life actual sort of numbers that we might see. For example, you might see 1600 grams. You might see that at the supermarket. We'll also have a look at, for example, a thing here of 800 meters. So that's a distance. Okay, these are all types of quantities. So, and then over on the second example there, we'll have a look at the number of computers. So first of all, could I get you to copy down the title for today, finding a percentage of a quantity, and then copy down the box, which says, to find the quantity, the percentage of a quantity, convert the percentage to a fraction or decimal and multiply by the quantity. So I guess what we really need to expand on is what we did last lesson of converting a percentage to a fraction or decimal, okay, because they're going to be absolutely fundamental to what we do today. So let's have a look at our first example. Here I have to evaluate 5% of 1600 grams. Now 5% can be written as a decimal or it can be written as a fraction. So to write 5% as a decimal, I'll go 5 and then I'll divide it by 100. And that means I'm going to have to actually move the decimal point 2 points over and I get 0.05. To write this as a fraction, I can write 5 and I put it over a denominator of 100. Now that will simplify to 1 over 20. Now the word of in these scenarios, okay, because I'm looking for 5% of 1600 grams, it's going to be multiplication. That's the operation we will be using. So there's a few steps to these questions. All right, so let's attempt it. So I'm going to start off with the decimal way. All right, so I have converted it to 0.05 and I'm going to multiply that by the quantity, okay, because it's of multiplication. I'm going to multiply that by 1600 grams. Now I can bring up my calculator and I'll go 0.05 multiplied by 1600. We should get an answer of 80 grams. Now it's important that we write our actual units there at the end because we're talking about a real world quantity. Now let's look at fractions. Okay, so here I'd have, now we said it was 1 on 20. I'm going to multiply that by 1600. Now what is the denominator of 1600? Well, it's individual units of grams, so it will have a denominator of 1. Now I can multiply the top and the numerator and the denominator, and I'll get that. Now I can actually put this into my calculator. I can go 1600 over 20. And that will simplify nicely, and we should get the same answer of 80 grams there. Well done. Make sure you copy that down. The next example here, okay, so we have 105%. So it's a fraction. I write this with a denominator of 100. Okay, and that will simplify down to 21 over 20 as they're both divisible by 5. Now I can write it as a decimal. Okay, so I have 105 and I divide that by 100. I move the decimal place twice and it would give a solution of 1.05. So now I'm going to multiply them both by 800 meters. So the very first one, let's do fraction. So I'll go 21 over 20 times 800. And this is individual units of 1 meter. Okay. So I can get my calculator out. I will do 21 times 800 gives 16,800. And 20 times 1 is 20. Okay, I'll put that in my calculator again. And that will simplify. So I have 16,800 over 20. That'll give a nice answer of 840 meters. Very good. Now, let's do decimal. So I'll go 1.05 and we can put this straight into our calculators. So we'll go 1.05 times 800, and we should get the same answer here, 840. Perfect. 840 meters. Okay, make sure you copy that down. Let's have a look at this worded problem. So in 1990, only 10,000 computers were in use in Australia. 62% were used by private business and 38% were used by the government. How many computers did the government use? Okay, so the first thing we need to do is, well, we're only looking at the government, their use. So we'll look at 38% were used by the government. So that's what's relevant. Okay, there's more information here than we need. Now we also know that in total, there was 10,000 computers. So what I'm going to do, I will change 38% to a fraction or decimal, and then I'll multiply by 10,000. So I'm going to change this to a decimal. So I'll divide by 100. Okay. That means the decimal place will move twice. So I'll get an answer of 0.38. Now let's multiply that by the 10,000. We can put that in our calculators. So I'll have 0.38 times 10,000. And that will give me an answer of 3,800 computers. All right, that's all for today. Now look at the questions that you need to complete and ask your teacher any questions that you might have. Good luck.